Hi there, this is Chris Callett with musicgrid.com. We're going to take a look at the promo slider, which has been updated. So we're going to see how we can modify this. We have two versions. We have the desktop version, the large version, and the small version. So let's go ahead and drag the large version out first. So we just drag it from the library panel there once it's been installed. And when you download the library, you'll see a .muslib file there. Just either right click and install. You can install it through the install icon here, or you can just double click, and if you've only got a single version of Muse on your system, then it'll install directly into Muse. So here we have the slider. Let's take a look at this in preview. And we can see it has this nice slide effect here, and we can see that the arrow here is highlighting which slide we're on, and then the color overlay changes as well. We have interactive content here, and this is physical text, and then background images. So let's see how we would edit this slider. So if we go to our first slide, we can take a look at how it's built up by looking in the layers palette, and you can see it's a composition widget, and we have triggers and targets. So currently we've selected that trigger there, and we can see that this has button text on it. We could select that text there and modify that, or we could select the button itself. And the button has three different states here: the normal, the rollover mouse down there the same, and then the active state. And they're using a background image to generate that look. So the button is actually bigger than the content, and that allows us then to have, in the normal state, we have that background image that just overlaps slightly, and then that allows us to have this background image here with the addition of the arrow, and that's what creates that effect. And all of these buttons are sitting on top of the slides, so then we get that appearance of the button sitting over the top there. Okay, so if we select this slide here, again, let's take a look in the assets panel. We can see that this slide is selected. So if we go down, that's a target. So if we go down here, we can see the little blue icon there, the little full color icon there showing us that that's been selected. We can select that text there, and we can see that's selected inside the slide. And we could go further, and we could select this button here that's been copied and pasted in to this text box, and we can just click and modify that content. We can change the size of this content. We can do whatever we want to this content. If we wanted to go to the next slide, we could either click on this target here, and that would take us to the next slide, or we can just click on it in the widget itself, and then we would go through the same process. So let's take a look at the small promo slider here. So this is the same unit, but obviously built for mobile devices instead, and we have the same capabilities there. And we can see that we've selected this slide here, this composition, and if we scroll down, we can see that that is the target there, and we can select that. So by clicking on the little square here, we can select those individual parts, and we can modify that how we want. Now, what if we wanted to make something in between these two sizes? Okay, well, what we would have to do is either make this one bigger or make this one smaller. So let's deal with making this one bigger, shall we? So let's drag this out, and I'm going to take this out. Let's make this a proportional size. So we've got 4 buttons, for example, and we're going to add another button as well. Let's do that. So we've got 4 buttons. We're going to add a button here, so I'm going to click on that button there, and I'm going to add a new button here. There we go, there's our new button. And we're going to say that this is going to be, in order to make it easy, let's do this at 500. So I'm going to drag that down 500. So if that's 500, each one of these buttons needs to be 100 pixels wide each. So I've selected all of them there. I'm going to make them 100 pixels. Let's increase their size, and then with the alignment here, what we'll do is we'll align to key object, and we'll set this to 0, and then hit that button there, and they've all jumped across. But let's do it the other way. Let's start from this end. Let's click all of these units here, align to key object, hit the spacing, and there we have 0 spacing in between each unit so that they fit perfectly. So we've added that additional button in there, and then we just want to grab this text. I'm going to copy that, go into our button here and paste that in. We can see what height that's at. To get it exact, I prefer working in the transform panel for this kind of thing. So we can see if we move that up and down, look, you can see that in the Y interface there, the Y option there, we can see that changing in height. So we can see that it's 794. So if we select that there, type in here 794, and we know that that button is now matching all of the other buttons. Let's go to a content panel here, and we'll grab that piece of content there, or let's actually move this across. So we want that there. Let's copy that, go to our new button. If we click into the slide here and do edit, paste in place, we'll get that exactly the same, and we could do the same process with all of ours. Let's do that here. So let's do edit, paste in place, and do the same here. And lastly here. So you can see now that we've added an additional button. We've made this unit slightly wider, and we've also put our content in here so that each slide matches. That works nicely. Let's change as well. We can change the way the transition works. Let's change that to a vertical. I'm going to switch off autoplay, switch off shuffle. That loads up a different slide each time the page loads. Leave all the rest the same. That's fine. And let's take a look at that in preview now. We can see there's our updated widget, and now we've got this vertical slider instead of a horizontal. We could change that to fading as well. So it's very easy to modify. Using the transform tool is probably one of the best ways to get everything nice and neat. Very easy to modify. We hope you enjoy using it, and thanks for watching.